Write that down, Fumi Saito.
Hello from Burbank, California. Welcome back. Thank you for joining us. It's another episode of Write That Down on the Fight Game Media Network. My name is Justin Knipper. I edit FightGameMedia.com. I write on WrestlingObserver.com. I work for Pro Wrestling Noah Cyberfight Incorporated. I'm back with Japan's leading pro wrestling author and historian, sociologist, and awesome person, Mr. Fumi Saito. But I'm also here. Well, not technically. I was here with the one, the absolutely only, Mr. Sean Waltman, X-Pac, 123 Kid, Lightning Kid, the Kid. He joined us for an awesome and very fun interview. And he actually lives not too close from where I'm at. Huh. Small world. We talked about UWA Japan with Sean. We talked about WWF WCW kind of stuff, of course. Monday Night Wars. Talking to Jim Ross on the phone. We talked about Top of the Super Juniors in New Japan that Sean Waltman had the experience to participate in. Yeah, we talked a lot about his WWF memories, Great Muta, Hakushi, wrestling landscape now and into the future, and lots of other interesting, unique stories from both Mr. Waltman and Mr. Saito, who actually spent a lot of time together hanging out in the 90s, which you'll hear about. This is cool. How am I going to top this, people? I don't know. Actually, I kind of have an idea, and you'll find out in the next couple weeks. That's right. Stay tuned. If you've not already, you know what's coming. Please subscribe to the Fight Game Media Network podcast feed. It's on Spotify, and it's on Apple, and it's on Stitcher and Google Play, and wherever you listen to your podcast. Hit the subscribe button. Leave us a comment if you like, because it helps us out very much. All right? Enjoy. Fumi, Sean Walton, like he's in the Walton family. Waltman, excuse me. Sean Waltman, Fumi Saito, and myself. Let's get right into it. Hello from Burbank. Welcome.
Are you in Burbank?
I'm in Burbank. That's right. You in LA?
Eagle Rock.
Oh, not too far. Okay. Yeah, I'm down in Burbank with our guest Sean Waltman and our co-host Mr. Fumi Saito from Tokyo. In the morning. Thank you for joining us. Thanks, Sean, for coming on with us. This is awesome.
Oh, welcome. Yeah, this is great. It's weird. So good to see you, Sean.
And you, Fumi. This technology makes it kind of like we're in the same room together, except we're not. So I miss you, man. I miss you a lot.
I miss you a lot. Yeah.
When's the last time you guys hooked up? When's the last time you saw each other?
When WrestleMania was in San Jose.
Right.
Okay.
I think that was the last time, right, Fumi?
Last time, yeah. I think I stayed in your hotel room. You know? Yeah.
I think you slept on the floor. Or one of us, maybe my friend did.
Right. Yeah, but it was good. That was it. Shit, because Scott Hall was in the other side of the hotel, but he came in, and that was it. So
and
it's not
Shooter Jennings. Remember Shooter Jennings? The picture with us was Shooter Jennings, the country rock.
Yeah, Waylon's son.
Waylon's son, yeah.
Yeah. You know, your hotel room was really amazing because people kept, knocking the door just to visit.
Yeah.
Hey, how you doing? Then sit around for 20, 30 minutes and then say, okay, gotta go. Then another person says, hey, how you doing? It's like we're being entertained.
Yeah, it was nice.
Yeah. So, it's like, I've been wanting to do this, and you told me that you doing a book this time, or you're not. You can't publicize it yet.
Well, I haven't told
Anybody?
the general public that I've started it yet, because like I've talked about starting it before, and there's been like almost starting, but then it didn't. Just things come up, and never got going on it. So now, like,
okay. It's really going.
Like 14 or 15 2-3 hour sessions in now.
Ah, okay.
So we're into it now.
Right, it's almost impossible to put it in one book. And
it's just for me to like, and that's why I need somebody, to help me write. Like, Fumi, I used to be able to actually write. Like,
yeah,
I mean, not, but just like for me these years later, man, it's hard to focus. I think it's like, too many shots to the head. And maybe some other things too,
Yeah, and also, it's like a memory is not as organized. Or I'm bad at this, what year and what month and what order, right? Yeah. So, but it's what the content of the book. It's impossible to have it in one book. So let's do the one book first and see how you do it, because it could be like, today's wrestling fan don't know, but like a vinyl, side A and side B, right?
Right.
Yeah. Record in the side A, it's all hit songs, but the real important song actually in the side B, like a cool song that you don't hear on the radio, but you have to buy album. Yeah, so it's like I always talk about side A and side B thing, because people know about side A, but people don't know about side B. But those are important. Yeah. Like,
and there's so much of it. Like, because I've talked a lot in story. Like I've told a lot of the stories before, but so many like that I haven't gone into depth on, or and a lot of crazy stuff, man.
Yeah.
So.
Depends on which, wrestling story or your childhood dream to become professional wrestler.
Yeah.
Florida, the Malenko school, that they're moving to Minnesota. You wanted to see the snow. You had uncle up there, and you had a whole new, different, like a different
sleeping on Marvin's couch.
Yeah. And you had a whole new, different set of friends up north in Minnesota. And their independent scene, and Eddie Shirky's school of wrestling, and their friends.
It was so great, Fumi. It was so great when I went to Minnesota. Like, maybe the guys aren't trained as well, a lot of them, but like everything else about it was great.
Yeah,
and not everybody can be trained by Malenko, So
Malenko and Eddie Shirky.
Right. So I mean, it's hard to go just because I had excellent training. Like I shouldn't be looking down on, they were doing the best they could. And, a lot of guys, even if they're not trained well, if they are really talented and really have what it takes, they're going to make it anyways.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't have
Minnesota guys, were they a little extra tough compared to some of the other guys you worked with? Maybe the weather
the guys that got recruited to be, the guys that were attracted to wrestling in Minnesota, man, it was a different breed of,
like
a human being, man.
The talent wasn't, it's not not Tiger Mask, but the toughness.
There was some of that too. It's just that, there was being trained by like Brad Rangans, and then there was being trained by Eddie Sharkey. It was two totally separate things, man. But the guys were on the same shows with each other. So
right, Minnesota Independent, and also it was years after you had Road Warriors, Nikita Koloff, the Ravishing Recruit, Barry Durso, all these guys came out. Then
and even the guys that came after them, Fumi, like the Scott Nortons and the Wayne Blooms and Mike Enos's there was like, so, man. And then, obviously Brock Lesnar and Shelton Benjamin. So I don't think Shelton was a Minnesota guy though. Like just University of Minnesota.
University of Minnesota, right.
Yeah.
But Masa Saito's guys like Tony Holm, Don Fry, they came to Minnesota and trained at the Brad's house. Yeah,
that's right.
Whereas Eddie's students, guys are like your local Minneapolis guy with day jobs. You have a regular job, but they wanted to be wrestler, so they train at night or just become wrestler over on the weekends. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And they spent a lot of time running back across the ring, back and forth, hitting the ropes and doing bump drills.
Yeah. So it's like I don't even know where to start because it's so good to talk to you. And it was 1991 you came to Japan for the first time. Universal Wrestling. Justin and I talked about Japanese Lucha Libre group Universal, and we had a lot of people in like Asai, Ultimate Dragon without mask, Great Sasuke without mask. You had
my first show.
Yeah,
my first debut was when Asai was finishing up.
Wow.
Oh, Asai was finishing up. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
That was his last show.
And then go to Tenru and go to AAA and become Ultimate Dragon.
Yeah, because when I was there, guess who was in the back in the dressing room with Asai was Great Kabuki.
Ah, okay, recruiting. He didn't work the show though. Yeah, but
but he was there, and he was working with Tenru at the time, right?
Yeah, at the time, right.
Yeah.
To get Asai. Ah, okay. Yeah, because the Universal group was so interesting. Between 91 and 92, well, you were like a 1920, right?
Yeah.
You had 7 tours or so in 2 year
almost
periods.
Every month.
Yeah, 7-8 tours in 2 year period. They put you in a bed and breakfast.
B&B hotel, yeah.
Bed and breakfast is bad, right?
It was like the size of the closet at the Kio Plaza.
They get you on the bus, and sometimes they drive bus all night, and where you gonna sleep in like a sauna?
Yep. The Kinko Land or the Capsule Hotel.
Kinko Land, yeah. Capsule Hotel too. Oh God, yeah. So it's
man.
That was like, when they talk about Japanese wrestling company, they're all first class, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't so with this company.
Yeah. Fumi, I'm like, it was tough, but I'm so grateful I got to experience the Kenko Land and the Capsule Hotel, man.
Capsule Hotel.
Seriously.
Right. Yeah. But although the people that came out in Universal, the Japanese Lucha Libre company only exists a 3-year period. A lot of people came out, Hakushi, Jinsei Shinzaki Reiro, Taka Michinoku, the Dick Togo, the Men's Tale, Jado Gedo, of course,
The whole Kaientai, right? All of Kaientai came from
every single Kaientai, right? Yeah. So it was like...
And so, Fumi, am I right when I say, like when I try to describe the Universal Pro Wrestling to people, and where they fit in the,
Japanese history or hierarchy?
Yeah, I always said they were a company without much money. But they had respect. They were respected, right? Like a lot of the guys that went there were big.
Yeah.
I mean, I got to be around all these big legendary luchadors, man.
Oh,
incredible.
Villanos, the Scorpio, the Brazos,
Dos Caras.
Shigino, Dos Caras, El Shigino, the Tejano. Yeah, pretty much. Because
I don't know.
That was a Mexican-oriented show.
Yeah.
Fumi and Sean, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm trying to think, because back then, I don't know if there was much regular Mexican wrestling on television at all. So I feel like it was a big deal for those guys to come over to Japan and show up, because it wasn't as common as it is today.
Yeah,
Also, like around that time, the peso got devalued. It was a huge deal. Like
the 90s, like 93 or something.
No, it was before that. It was like around the time I was going there. So it was still, a lot of those guys, that was a lifesaver for them.
They were paid by US dollar in Japan, right?
Yeah. I mean, I eventually got a raise. I was making like $1,200 for the week. but when I first came, it was 1,000, and you get $100 draw, like in the beginning, $100, like 1,000 yen, right? You got to make it last the whole week.
10,000 yen, yeah, right.
The only person capable of doing that in Japan is Rip Rogers.
Thrifty.
Well,
he'll bring the bouillon cube and put it in the hot water.
Nice.
We were in this, relatively not so expensive, 24-hour Denny's, or we had ramen noodles together.
Ramen noodles and cream soda.
Yeah, cream soda, the green cream soda with scoop ice cream on top of it. Of course.
Yeah, that was my favorite.
Yeah. The reason that the Universal was unique was that they brought in real Mexican stars like a welterweight and middleweights. See, not that Antonio Inoki's New Japan, Giant Papa's All Japan. They had Mexican wrestlers, but they were like a Mel Mascaras, the Dos Caras, the heavyweight Mexicans, like Finchman. But when you talk about 6-man tag team situation, Mexican guys, you're going to bring in welterweights, you know. And then you had El Hijo del Santo, all these lighter guys. Jr. Yeah, so that was a real experience for the first time, because Mel Mascaras really isn't. That's heavyweight giant in Mexico, right? Yeah, so we didn't know real Mexican 6-man tag team was, the spots you never seen before. So, yeah.
Oh, I couldn't believe it when somebody showed me the tape of the Universal. I was like, oh my God, I was so excited to go. Oh man, I saw those cowboys like Tejano Silver King.
And Silver King,
yeah, man. And then I got to be in matches with them, like second tour over there, teaming with Wagner Jr. and all that stuff. It was incredible for me.
Those two, and Shigno and Negro Navarro.
Yeah, that's right.
And all three Brazos. Yeah. Villano 3 didn't come, but they had the 1 and 4 and 5. Villanos.
That's right.
Yeah. And they were doing the exact Mexican style the Japanese fan didn't know about, So it was good. And also
it was more hard hitting though. Like I think they turned a notch up when they come to Japan. Like as far as they lay it in more,
Oh, did they? Oh, okay.
I think so.
Okay. Then you and Jerry Lynn came in together as Americans,
Yeah.
Light heavyweight Americans. Yeah. So it was good.
Remember Ricky Rice came one time?
Yeah, Ricky Rice.
Yeah.
So
Ricky Rocket. They called him Ricky Rocket.
Right.
For the trios tournament.
Trios tournament. So there was a Mexican connection and Minnesota connection in that, in Universal. Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah.
Then after this 91, 92, you had 7, 8 tours of Universal. New Japan brought you in 93 for junior heavyweight.
That's right.
New Japan, yeah.
Was
Benoit,
young
Benoit and Eddie, right.
I think it was a combination, I remember one time, like one of my last tours for Universal, we were in Corcoran Hall, and I look into the crowd, and Liger sitting in the crowd, and I waved to me, and I say,
we want that guy. Yeah.
I don't know, but after that, you remember when Hellraisers? You remember when they put the Hellraisers together and they had the show at the bar in Minnesota?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
The night you turned heel, though.
No, it was a night. So I got to make the matches. So I put me and Jerry against Brad and Masa.
Right. Okay, I remember that.
Yeah, and so afterwards, Masa brought me to, called Brad and said, I want to bring me to, for the junior tournament.
Right. And you didn't even think New Japan wasn't even an option. Then right after Japan,
I hoped.
But then again, right after New Japan 1 tour, it wasn't even an option. But you went WWF TV taping. You got the job.
I was already had the job by the time I went to Japan. By the time I went to New Japan the Super Junior tournament.
Junior heavyweight.
I already had the 1, 2, 3. Matt, I already beat Ray Ramon in the Manhattan Center. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, you honored the one tour with New Japan then.
Yes, it was very important that I did that, because who knows what would happen in WWF,
At the time, yeah. It was like a beginning of Monday Night Raw era.
Yeah.
Yeah, very much so.
And
very much
for
so.
me, my aspiration was New Japan, because I just didn't think WWE was interested in somebody like me, So
at the time, yeah.
And I ended up not getting hired when I had my WCW tryout, because they switched the bosses right after I had my tryout.
Yeah. But it was good that you would go to WWF over WCW at the time. Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Of course.
Sure.
It was not like 2 years or so before Monday Night War, but WWE already started Monday Night Raw at the Manhattan Center as like more. That's like a Monday night becomes a wrestling night. Did you see
we just had the 30th anniversary of Raw?
Yeah, of course, last week.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I remember it was just like, it felt like, it doesn't seem like it's been 5 years since the Raw 25 show we did.
Right. It didn't seem like 30 years, right? Maybe 10, 20, but 30 years sounds like a lot of time.
I'm just blown away by how fast life has gone.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. Because I don't really feel like a different, I don't feel like an old, I don't feel like a 50-year-old. Well, I guess I do, actually. I don't know.
But mentality doesn't change.
To feel like.
Yeah, but then again, you had a long career from teenage into 20s into early 20s, already in WWE, the WWF. Yeah. Then there was, 1, 2, 3 Kid era, then you World Tour that, during the 93 and 94, you spent a lot of time, WWE did, overseas tours, so many of them at the time.
Yeah.
Like 1/3 of the year you were in Europe.
We were always overseas.
Yeah.
It was like sometimes we would just come back to the States just to shoot TV and then go back overseas again.
Yeah, at the time that was strange. And when you were actually not the wrestling character Click, but there was a Click Wolfpack forming in your hotel room,
right.
as friends. Yeah. Later on it became wrestling character, but it was friends you hang out with, Scott and Kevin.
Yeah. And, that was just, we were Wolfpack. Yeah. When we were separated from Sean and Paul. Yeah. So, but you used to see me a lot back then. Right? I mean, way more than we see each other now. That's for sure.
No. Yeah, last 20 years like this, but in 90s, I used to come over to Minneapolis every Christmas, and we spent Christmas together for about 10 period.
Long time, man. Yeah.
Long time.
There's a book about that, isn't there?
I mean, there's a chapter or something.
Greetings.
Yeah.
Season's greetings. That's right.
Season's greetings. And Jesse was just a baby,
I've seen that at the bookstore in Japan.
Yeah, and then your grandpa.
I'm a grandpa.
Yeah. Seriously. But it was interesting that how I learned how, Kevin becoming Diesel and Diesel becoming real superstar by holding the title, I mean, to be honest, he wasn't the best wrestler, but make Diesel a champion, and he growing his hair long. As his hair grew longer and he becoming a real star in front of the camera, it was all real. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah,
so and he always, the stuff he did looked good, and he always carried his end of a really good match whenever he was in there, man. It's like, So I mean, he was technically, he was no Bret Hart, right? So, and I guess
no, not that. But
I don't know anyone wants to see like the Big Daddy Cool do the headlock switch into the hammerlock, drop toe, the single leg.
Yeah, but what he did was original. Sit the guy in the corner and do the elbow, and boot him.
A lot of people copy that.
Yeah, because it was original. Yeah. Remember how you and Kevin and Sean probably Scott Hall all going to the building real early and work out?
Yeah.
Yeah, because
I just always spend time talking about everything, talking about how to make it better and how to make the style better, and like trial and error, going out there every night and listening to what works and what doesn't, with the reaction,
Yeah. And you're actually working in front of like a live audience of over 10,000 people night after night.
I mean, not always 10,000 people. Business was kind of rough back then, but
but thousands and thousands people.
Thousands, yeah.
And on TV. Yeah. And being talked to at the airport that they force you to be 24/7 character. Mm-hmm. That's WWE life, right?
Yeah, so sure.
Kevin becoming Diesel, really becoming Diesel. And I was happy to witness these people becoming like a real superstar. Remember, Triple H, second year rookie, joining a group, and that's how. Well, now Triple H the biggest thing, but I was lucky enough to witness how you guys just developed the whole thing.
Yeah, man. Like looking back on it, it was like we weren't really. Well, I can't speak for anyone else but myself, but I wasn't really like thinking about how like cool all this shit was we were doing, but like we just have a good time trying to get by, man.
Yeah, looking back, it's 25, 27 years later now, but you're really focused, night after night, how to be, this cool guy, that the Scott becoming more and more Razor Ramon for real. You know what I'm saying?
For real, yeah.
For real. Yeah.
Yes.
Shawn Michaels becoming, Heartbreak Kid for real. And and also these, group of friends were working on top. I mean, programmed in the main event. That helped, And now that the Click story is so famous, but it was like how real it was, people don't realize. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't a wrestling tale.
Not at all. It never was. I mean, it never was an on-screen thing, and it's like
it was just hanging out. Meet up at the airport every weekend, and let's start the horn. Just the whole 5 days thing. You're living like family, right?
Yeah. Sometimes, like almost very rarely did we have our own hotel rooms. It was always 2 or 3 people in one room,
Yeah. And that the WWE wrestlers are so popular that you don't even go downstairs and lobby to eat. You just have to have room service. Then you ended up getting all the shrimp cocktails and everything, emptying up all the refrigerator at the hotel room, circumstantial, just this and that, and food delivered to your room. And what you do, you are going over what you want to do in the ring.
Yeah.
This is the idea I got. This is my idea. This is my idea. And it's going over thing and becomes.
You were there for some of that?
Yeah, some of that. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to see it? It's pretty cool, right?
Yeah, of course. That was cool. Yeah. And also, like one WrestleMania or SummerSlam, I brought Hakushi into your hotel room too while you guys are doing it. Yeah. See,
I was the first guy to work with him when we went to Japan for that tour in '94, right?
Yeah. Last week, Hakushi, my revival Hakushi had it's called Great Muta's Bye Bye Final Match.
I saw
the opponent was Hakushi. I mean, exact Hakushi 27 years later, and he was the MVP because Muta and Hakushi had this program thing. They ended the finish 25 years later from from like a 1996 Tokyo Dome match. Now he's finishing. Yeah, it's like the longer you watch, the more you get out of this thing. Yeah, this is wrestling. Yeah. So for today's fans probably didn't know Hakushi all that much, huh? But he's the exact same Hakushi now that it's good to have a new wrestling audience from 2000 on. But if you knew Hakushi from 90s, you understand a whole lot more. You know what I'm saying?
I loved the original, the Shinzaki character. When I wrestled him in Japan, and they had the chanting, oh,
yeah, the whole
that was so cool.
Yeah, pilgrim thing. It's real, you know, as a character. Well, wrestling character, but he's from Tokushima, and it's like so much real background he had. Yeah. So that was the thing. And not just, you know, that this 30-year anniversary, you know, the Monday Night XXX thing, you know, the DX. It was way too short, but it was really interesting because it is not. Well, that was the DX is great, but you bring in today's character Imperial.
Yeah.
You know, to get this guy's over instead of you put yourself over.
Exactly.
Yeah,
man.
Because you know, legend make mistakes sometimes. You know, nostalgia is great, you know, for older fans and memories and all these things. But to have your Gunter in there, he is a star now. You know?
That's right.
Yeah.
And we go home. And we go home the next day, and those guys got to still be there to try to draw money and make people tune in and watch on television. And you know, I mean,
of course.
And I was never a fan of that stuff when we would just show up and, you know, get the obligatory, you know, hit our finish on the guys and, you know, happy moment for a little bit for the people that tuned in to see us. But there's just, I mean, people can just be happy to see us without us doing that, you know?
Right. And also, it is right to put Gunter over. I don't want to fight him.
Right.
I don't want to fight him. I mean, he's a tough guy. Today's tough guy. And let's have a match. And no, I'm not fighting, right? Then
we all legitimately don't need to be in that ring, like,
not anymore.
Beat up anymore, man. We're all pretty beat up, you know, like, none of us,
But it's complimenting.
Yeah.
Each other, you know, that's good. But
yes,
you're not
going to have. It was fun.
You're not going to have actual match. You're not going to have actual match there. Yeah, it was really, really good. I mean, so well done. You had a good time putting together, right?
It was hilarious, man. Like,
was it?
Yes. It was. If there was like outtakes or just like behind the scenes footage of the putting together part, maybe even more entertaining than the actual.
What happened in the ring?
Yeah.
Because that many stars in the ring at the same time. You had to use Kurt Angle's, you know, comic, you know.
He made the whole segment, honestly.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I always wanted to be DX, right?
And just the deadpan, comedic timing the guy has, and just his credibility as a real, like, legitimate, you know,
gold medal, of course.
Yeah. I mean, it just adds to his, you know, to his comedy. It just makes his comedy that much better. It's because this guy don't need to be doing that, but, like, you know, he's also the guy that makes you laugh.
He had his Kurt Angle outfit, then take it off. He got a DX T-shirt, then take it off. He already had the referee jersey. He's like, that was really good. Yeah, and then also that you don't want to be in the ring that long because the Street Profit, Seth freaking Rollins gonna have 3, you know, tag team match. Yeah, so it was like a segment was perfect because
like
can't be that long.
All the funniest stuff.
Yeah.
From the stuff I thought was the funniest stuff. I saw Paul come up with that stuff as we were putting that together. Man, he's brilliant at that, man. Just really, really brilliant guy. I'm not just saying that, like, because I'm obviously biased, but I'm impressed because I haven't been around him, like, as much in the, you know. So just to watch how he's developed and grown into what he is now, it's incredibly impressive.
Yeah, but you told me back in 95 maybe, which is 28 years ago, this guy is going to be a big deal.
Yeah. Absolutely. There was never any doubt in anyone's mind.
Hunter Hearst Helmsley, he was still, but this guy is going to be a big deal. So I looked at him and said, okay, I understood.
Yep.
He was in the click room. I mean, as the youngest guy. I mean, age, not youngest, but as a career-wise, he was in second year pro, and you just saw it, right?
Just like he did with The Rock. I mean, obviously not in the same level, but like it was the same type of thing. It was like it was a sure bet. It was a sure bet. If you wanted to put money on somebody, reaching that level, like it was a sure bet. So
yeah. So I
barring injury or some shit like that, but
yeah. So I clearly remember, and I started following him in his career right then. Yeah, at the time, it was a really good time. Then this Monday Night Raw thing happened, Monday Night War thing happened, and one by one, the Alundra Blaze, the Scott Hall, the Kevin Nash, the
Lex Luger first.
Lex Luger first, right? Yeah. The very first episode, and then you stayed. You just got half the WWE went there almost, and you were the first one to return. After 97 into 98 then, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
I've had pretty good timing in my career.
Yeah, because the reason I remember was that the Christmas of 97, I went to your Minneapolis house, and again, we spent the entire afternoon, you were down in the basement, looking through things and the video and things, and Kevin and Scott kept calling. It's like are you gonna be back in WCW? So you're already talking to Jim Ross at the time, and
Oh, you were there when I was doing that? Yeah. That's right.
So
that's right. You were.
Yeah, because they obviously, Kev and Scott obviously wanted you to be back with WCW. I'll talk to Bishop about it, but it's like, no, I'm already fired. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I wasn't even looking. I mean. I really knew exactly what I was going to do as soon as I got that letter. Yeah, like I was mad about the getting fired part because like it was like, but it was like get out of jail. It felt like,
Okay. Yeah.
And not to say it was like all like, because WCW was great for me. It just became difficult in the last several months I was there.
Yeah,
because Scott was having problems. Scott was having problems that were making Eric have. So, okay, let me rephrase it. Scott was having problems. So Eric had me on the road with Scott, even when I wasn't booked on the road. So on my days that I should have been home with my family, quite a few of those days I was on the road with Scott, even though I wasn't wrestling. And that was like, I wasn't getting paid extra because I was on a flat guarantee. So, it was tough. Like, and I wanted a raise. I wanted a raise. And so.
They kind of like, they thought, you're Scott Hall and, Nash's sidekick, so they can fire you or something. Yeah.
Yeah. But, I will say this, like Eric talks about, I had never signed a contract and I was wanting more money. And he's correct about that. Like, I actually never signed my hard contract. I only signed a deal memo. And for the whole time, man, like, So Eric, like, he's right about that. But like, I still don't believe it when he says like it had nothing to do with being mad at Kevin and Scott. I have a hard time with that, but like I do give Eric I could see the point like that he makes when he says like, "Hey, Waltman didn't sign this contract," and he's got a point on that.
Yeah. But it was over the Christmas. You're already at home, and well, it's okay because you somewhat sidelined too, So it's like, well,
the neck.
Stay home and heal, And you wouldn't debut WWE until the day after WrestleMania anyhow in the following year. So, and
even then I wasn't cleared to wrestle yet, right? I still had some, I was still doing therapy and stuff.
Yeah. So it was very interesting that you the only went back to the WWE, and you're talking to Jim Ross on the phone too,
Yeah.
So Yeah.
Yeah. They didn't want to pay me the money though, like, because they knew I didn't want to go back. Right?
Yeah, right. But they need to be paid the same position as other guys were making at the time. That's right.
Yeah. That's exactly what I said, and I knew. I had information. I knew what other guys were getting paid, and so like I was, like they weren't happy about me throwing the information in their face, you know.
Who are you talking to, right?
Yeah.
You mean from the WWF side or WCW?
I knew how much.
No, the guys in WWF. Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, guys that came in there that I was on the same level at least or more.
Because while you were in WCW, the Billy Gunn and Road Dogs thing, got real, hot.
But Mark, I knew what Mark Miro and Jeff Jarrett's downside guarantees was, and I wanted mine to be at least that.
So it's like because you were in that group.
Yeah, I was coming in with NWO, like I had the NWO momentum. I was using that momentum to come in and help DX.
Yeah, but they
like. Let's be honest. 1, 2, 3 Kid joining DX wasn't going to be as big a deal as 6 from NWO. Wasn't.
Right. Yeah, it wasn't going to be 6, so it took you guys a while to come up with X-Pac.
I already knew as soon as I was, it took like the next set of TVs when we actually talked about it. Yeah, I already had in my head. I already knew what I wanted to be called.
Oh, X-Pac. Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good.
And then I didn't sign the contract there for like probably 6 months, fighting over the name. I wanted to own the name, because it was
really?
I came up with it. Yeah.
Okay. Because the timing was important to be on on TV the day before. Day after WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Because Triple H, Shawn Michaels leaving, that Triple H taking over the group. I called my friend, introducing you into the ramp. So.
It's a thing now, right? It's tradition. Like day after WrestleMania, Raw is
season
somebody's
premiere.
Going to show up, right?
Yeah, season premiere. Like you're watching the drama every year. Season 10, season 11. So it's very good. So you still follow WWE Raw and SmackDown both?
I don't watch the whole show.
All right,
I follow what's going. Follow what's going on, and then if there's something that has a buzz, I watch it. Like, hey, this is good. This was a great segment. I'll watch it.
Right. Yeah, because
I don't have the appetite for it anymore.
Not as every
5
week,
hours.
2 sets. Yeah, 2 sets of right. Or do you watch then some people watch AEW, Dynamite, and Rampage, and this and that. Or
I
Impact.
watch bits and pieces of that too.
And now that the New Japan in English, commentary thing, and all these things. Yeah, it's impossible to watch everything.
I wish New Japan was. I don't know. Did it go back on Access TV? Because
yeah, they did.
Oh, good, because it was great when it was on Access TV. I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it with Mauro and Josh Barnett doing commentary, and Jim and Josh also.
Right. Yeah, see, I didn't realize that the things we just talked about, this the Monday Night War and the WWF to WCW, WCW back to WWE, and debuting day after WrestleMania. Every single one of those episodes, it was before internet streaming, let alone social media. You know what I'm saying? Let alone YouTube. That the YouTube doesn't happen until 2005, 6. And
is that when it came out? Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. And social media was around, but not everyday tool for everybody until 2005. You know what I'm saying? Now that it's so part of your everyday life, it's so normal. If you are 18 years old, you grew up with it, right? But
never been without it.
Never been without it. Yeah, but we used to, we had to look for VHS tape. You hear about wrestler, do you have a tape? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And look.
Promo tape.
Yeah. And now that you hear a name,
you got to keep it 3 minutes.
Is that
I was always told you got to keep it 3 minutes.
Promo thing?
Yeah, to send for audition tape, to get promoter to book you.
Oh, really?
Like that.
If it's too long, they're gonna watch it, kid.
it was like then it was clearly different in Japan. So many, American, wrestlers send VHS tape into Masa Saito's desk, right? Everybody sent those 3-minute clips and stuff, and then Masa went like, Masa was like, I don't want to hear the promo and bunch of high spot. He wanted to see the entire match and judge this guy. You know what I'm saying?
Wow, really?
Yeah, the entire match, because you want to see the beginning of the match, how he does things during the match, and how he takes it home. Like, no fancy tapes. Just want to watch the entire match. One camera or your home video, doesn't matter. Entire match has to be in there. He was so mad.
He was
the Japanese way to look at it, right?
Man, I love that
different. Yeah, because there is no such thing as promo in Japan.
Well, when I was watching on New Japan on Access, I was going to talk. That's what I was going to mention to you was how well I liked they were having promos on there, like Shunsuke and different people, and they would have the subtitles, and I loved it, man. Like I loved to watch the Japanese promos with the with the English subtitles. Yeah.
And it's not like promo like a storyline promo. They talk about the match that you just wrestled.
Exactly.
That's pretty good though. Like really like athletes and like rivalries, feud instead of storylines.
It was so refreshing to see. It was so refreshing to see the presentation like that.
Yeah. Japanese wrestling should stay that way instead of Uncle Howdy or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, for instance, for example.
For instance, yes.
Yeah, for instance, yeah. So it's like, it was interesting. You had Japanese, or Malenko school, of course, and wanted to see the snow and went to Minneapolis. Obviously, that was after AWA era. So Minneapolis meant bunch of indies, of indies,
Yeah.
Then went to Universal, not established Babas, Old Japan or Inoki's in New Japan, but it's a Universal. And you know what I'm saying? Like
it came right at the right time. I just got my GWF contract canceled. They told me they couldn't.
Right.
They told me they couldn't afford to pay me anymore.
And also, they went out of business, right?
No, not for a while. Not for they did eventually, but it was a couple years later. They were just using guys that could drive to the shows.
Right.
They couldn't fly me in.
Right.
But
it was that was like a syndication TV type of thing, right?
Yeah, it was over 100 markets syndicated, and it was on ESPN 5 days a week.
Yeah,
I used to watch it after school.
Yeah, decades before streaming. Man. Yeah, so it's different now that the television altogether could be yesterday's news, right? Everything will be on the screen, streaming. I mean, like Netflix. We have.
I'm
Amazon.
already used to it like that. I haven't actually watched cable in forever.
Or traditional television.
No, I mean I still watch the network shows, but it's all through streaming.
Right. So wrestling will be such too. You know what I'm saying? From this point on forward, and all the pay-per-view too. The streaming pay-per-view. You watch even in Japan. You're paying 4,000 yen, $40 for the show.
Yeah.
Streaming service.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the landscape will change drastically, like this year too. Yeah. So
I remember it was a long. It was quite a. How's the cable universe in Japan now?
The housing situation and how houses in the apartment and building are so built up so close to each other, the actual physical cable wouldn't go in.
So how do they do it now?
Satellite, and the internet, Wi-Fi all over country, right?
Yeah.
That's a lot easier to actually watch the moving image. Yeah.
Because I remember Samurai, was it Samurai TV?
Yeah, Samurai TV still exists, yeah.
Well, it was on
satellite channel. Satellite.
Yeah. Or or like JTV or something like that. Like
JCTV, Japan Cable Television.
Yeah,
right?
JCTV.
Yeah,
but like no one had it, right? Like
no one had it.
Maybe 100,000 people had it in the whole country or something.
All together, right?
Yeah.
Then there was a Sky Perfect TV, the satellite dish. That was big. The satellite dish still exists, and I still use it. But more and more, your device will be your TV, like streaming. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think in Japan, in general, especially if you're in Tokyo, it might just be easier for people to go see the show live instead of paying for a pay-per-view or
live wrestling should exist, of course.
I think just live events in general, it's always been more money in Japan just because of how everything's set up, and not everyone has satellite. I mean,
but now that you can watch wrestling with this thing,
right? That's more popular now, like Abema and all the digital channels. It's different. It's a different landscape.
Like I said, then also this Abema TV, the streaming service, the Wrestle Universe, all these things, they are offering their pay-per-views.
Mm-hmm. Right.
It's different economy almost. Yeah.
Like you get the service and then you pay extra for the pay-per-view.
Yeah, like if you want to watch Great Muta retirement match, live, you'll be paying that on screen. Then if you wait a week or two, you can watch that on regular streaming too.
Hey, do people go to the show and still watch it on the streaming while they're at the show live?
That too, probably. But I want to be at Tokyo Dome, of course, live, But other than that, it's not easy. You are actually, everybody's carrying the device, whether it's your smartphone or your iPod or like my regular laptop. It's like you're carrying your own television now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it has changed. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's incredible, man.
Wrestling will be in there, though. Yeah. Yeah, it's incredible. Yeah, of course, because we come from traditional television to VHS era to traditional pay-per-view era to now streaming. And
it's just the fact that like anything you want to see now, Fumi, anything you want to see, you can see it now. Oh my God. Like I was just happy to get a tape from Tape Traders that had some matches dubbed together on there. And even if the quality was the bad quality from like 4th, 5th generation or
dubbed and
the tracking.
Yeah, man.
Hit the tracking button.
I didn't care. I didn't give a shit.
Yeah,
but that's the only choice you had back then. That's it. If you wanted to watch wrestling from Japan,
even if it was bad wrestling, I wanted to see it.
Bad wrestling
because it was unique. It was like nothing that you'd see here. Yeah, like you said, it's almost too easy to find everything now. It's not as
it's just I think people take it for granted. Yeah. I think that's all. But I think it should be that way. I just think people should appreciate it. Of course,
not gonna go back. But it's that today's audience have such a short attention span. Short attention span. What's on YouTube is about 5 minutes, right? They think it's long. But if you want to watch good wrestling, you usually over 20 minutes or so. Good wrestling match. And if you want to watch a wrestling match, you have to start from the match to the finish.
People in Japan have an appetite for a more long, drawn out match, like a long, Kenny Omega versus Okada match, which is one amazing match. It might be a little bit too much for the average American wrestling fan.
Right.
Because the build-up is so, they just take their time, which I love. But man, people here in the States, it's just like they like to
boom, 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 huh?
Yeah, man, they'll flip the channel on shit like that.
Yeah, I thought Japanese wrestling used to be just boom, 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 but now it's longer, I think. Well, there was a Omega against Will Ospreay January 4th at the Tokyo Dome. They had 35 minutes. Yeah.
Oh, really? That's a good. That's a nice length for their match. Yeah.
And Okada against Jay White was also 35 minutes. Yeah.
Those are good length. That's a nice length for the main event. Yeah.
Yeah. But the Tokyo Dome show itself was 3 o'clock to 9 o'clock. It's like a 6-hour show. Oh my gosh. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess it's like going to watch baseball game. Some of the matches, I'm sorry, they don't pay attention. Go to concession stand and buy another hot dog.
Yeah.
And come back and sit through. I'm going to watch this closely. Something like that.
Go to we call it the popcorn match here.
Popcorn
match? You call it that?
Yeah. The popcorn match is the popcorn match is usually like fifth match, which is like right after intermission. Crowd's always dead. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, probably we call this a toilet time.
Oh, yeah?
Time to go to the bathroom.
I noticed a lot of people going to buy merchandise because the merchandise lines get so long at those shows. So they have
a guy like in Japan, like they call Mr. Pop or Mr. Toilet Time. Like, do you remember they had Momota Jr. was Mr. 630?
Yeah, because it's come right out.
First match 630, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. 630. But with respect, that was because if it's a toilet time, you don't want to tell them that.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, you don't really want to call the guy curtain jerker either. Like,
that's a no-win situation.
Yeah.
Audience choose their own, you know.
Yeah.
Toilet timers.
Yeah. But it was okay. So altogether, you know, you had about 15, 20 tours with Japan because you came back with the WWE Mania tour too.
94, right? Remember?
Yeah, 94, yeah.
Remember we spent a lot of time together.
Yeah, that was interesting. Yeah, because WWE's
you got to spend time with. Sorry. I keep talking over you. There's a little bit of a.
That's fine.
I mean, we're talking to each other 10,000 miles apart.
There's a slight delay. It's all good.
But you got to see Bret Hart like becoming like being a real like world champion. He really liked to carry himself as a world champion, you know, like that came out over there. Like he had great matches with people.
I think so. And there was a 4-match in tour. He had a single match against Yokozuna, single match against Macho Man Randy Savage, single match against.
Did he have Tenryu?
He didn't have Tenryu that time. No.
Randy had Tenryu.
Right. That was another Tokyo Dome show. Yeah, another Tokyo Dome show. But
Bret Hart some kind of a tag team.
Randy worked with Tenryu on that tour too. I think it was at the Green Dome in Osaka or in Sapporo.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So it was the perfect tour for Bret Hart to be world champion. All four, matches, all 4 shows, 4 different opponents, all single match, title match, which is good. And every match had a different finish, which is good.
What were those tours
who
like?
killed it? You know who was really hard to follow? Like, I'm glad I didn't have to follow them. Was Medusa and Bull.
Bull Nakano.
They killed it every night.
Yeah,
Medusa got color, and they got mad at her, but she tried to say it was hard way. Bull hit her with the nunchucks, you know.
Oh, because the juice was no. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, what were those tours like compared to, we were talking about it earlier when you said the Mexican guys would come over and they would lay it in a little harder and they would just wrestle a little bit different. When you guys, when talking about WWF, when you did the Japanese tour or European tour, how was it? Was it much different than doing the house show in the States? Was there a different approach?
People were hotter.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Because they don't see you as much. It's more, special.
It was just they were just... they weren't as overexposed to the product, like, because we in the States we go to these towns like once a month or once every quarter,
right?
And they get jaded and they get like used to everything, and it's harder to impress people when you're there all the time. And so like when we go to Europe, man, like there was no popcorn match in Europe, man. You could go on after intermission and the people are still hot. Japan, that in the WWF Japan tour that I was on, the people still felt like they wanted to see what they saw on TV, but they still reacted to like, I still worked the Japanese style there when I went there. Like I worked, how I knew that they reacted to false finishes and different things, and there was just a little bit different way to work in Japan, and not everyone knew how to do it,
Yeah. Yeah, we were just talking about this recently because we were talking about Hakushi. So I went on to YouTube and they have some of the stuff on YouTube. So you and Fatu had a great match.
Yeah,
you would never see it. Yeah, it was like the first match on the show, and it was totally different from what you would see back then.
I slipped one over on him with like a not a victory roll, but like a
I was gonna say victory roll too, like a head.
No, it was a victory roll. Yeah, it was a victory roll.
Yeah. It's kind of a long match too. It was something you would never see on TV back then.
I kicked out everything. He beat the crap out of me. I kept kicking out, and I slipped one over
like a monster too. It was real like monster versus David and Goliath kind of match. But when I see these, I go, man, I don't remember WWF being like that when I was watching back then. It was just different. So I'm assuming there was just different expectations from the crowd.
And then wasn't the fixed match
only in Japan. Only in Japan, honestly. Everywhere else, we just worked the same.
Mm.
Right. And pretty much the lineup's the same too for like the entire month, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Four shows: that the Yokohama, the Hiroshima, the Osaka, the Sapporo. 4 shows. All the magazines and the Tokyo Sports following it. So you almost had to have different matchups every night.
Yeah.
And also like.
Matches. Yeah, and I remember Yokohama was the first night, and I was working with Rick Martel, who was like AWA world champion, right?
Right,
like before,
just a couple years earlier,
Yeah, and so they give me the finish, like it was some kind of screw job finish where like, oh, he puts his foot on the ropes, or like, I'm like, come on, man, this is Rick Martel, and we're in Japan. They don't go for that crap here.
He was so I
had him get me in the Boston Crab. I got to the ropes once, and then he got it into me again, and I went for the ropes and almost got there, and he pulled me back in the middle, and
then
I tapped out.
Right.
Yeah, and it worked great.
Very convincing. Yeah. No screw job.
No way. Right. Wasn't gonna do it there, man.
Right.
But it still leaves Rick Martel with some edge,
I just wasn't going to be the guy that got beat by a screw job finish in Japan, man. Like, you just don't do that there.
Right, it's almost like he didn't win.
Very interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Because that tour, the lineup, the guys who were on the tour was, really strong. Bret Hart, Undertaker, the Macho Man, Yokozuna, Owen Hart, Bob Backlund, Bam Bam Bigelow, Smoking Guns, the Someone SWAT team, the great line, Doink. It was a strong, package.
That's right.
Yeah. It's like everybody but Hulk Hogan almost. Yeah. So he was really strong. Yeah. But I guess that the Japanese audience wasn't completely ready for the products yet.
I mean, if you go by the crowd, it's like, I would have to say that was the case. Like, cause the buildings were like half full. I mean, they weren't embarrassing crowds, but they weren't like
hot.
Yeah, 15, man, we didn't just sell out. Usually when we went overseas, we sold the places out.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah.
The only place I remember not selling out was when we went to Italy. Not that great. No.
Right. Yeah, but that was during the time, like when you talked about, a little while ago, that you had a lot of overseas tours during the year.
Yeah, like we were in Singapore and the Philippines and India, Israel. Yeah, several times, like more than one, like maybe 4 or 5 times to Israel, Portugal.
Yeah.
So
it was like a Disneyland almost, like a Walt Disney on Ice kind of thing almost.
Or like Epcot Center, like here, in Epcot Center, they have like this, it's all the different countries, right? It was like,
It's a Small World.
Well, not that. It was like, they just have these showcases all over, like with different countries. And like you go, like in Japan, they have like a bunch of people like with native Japanese costumes and, anyways. Yeah, it was cool, man. I got to see the world, Fumi.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, so it's like, I can't believe it's a 2023. And it makes sense that now you're finally writing a book.
Yeah. I mean, they could have come, like, I guess I shouldn't beat myself up and go, I should have done it sooner, because now must have been the right time, right? Or else I wouldn't be doing it now. So
yeah, but
just having a hard time, like sometimes with remembering, like sometimes I don't remember certain things till I'm in bed at night,
Yeah.
So I need to jot them down on a piece of paper so I can tell.
Right. Now it's coming together, right? But like I said, it's impossible to have just one book, So let's have this one book first, and it's almost. I'm sure it's because you try to cover so much that you probably wish you would go more details.
Yeah, in certain areas of parts of my life, maybe afterwards, just zoom in on that particular, subject.
So
Chris Jericho does that. Chris Jericho does that,
I was gonna
right?
say, because first book wouldn't do it. So it's like already thinking of a second book because that portion you didn't talk about. And that's important and completely different theme and different issue, So you'll probably get that. So it's like I'm looking forward to see this very first book.
Yeah, man. It's not coming out until I'm happy with it. So it might.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
It's gonna. Yeah, I like the guy I'm doing it with. I just like I even told him I'm like I know we might not be going at the pace you'd like to, but man, like I want to make sure I don't miss out. I don't miss some important stuff.
Right. You communicate with him good.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Does he know wrestling well?
Very well. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. That's good because sometimes everybody has a certain way of understanding wrestling, and everybody's different a little bit,
Yeah.
So you can't expect him to understand the way you understand. There's no way, And
if I'm just like, it's ideal because, Fumi, if I'm talking to somebody and I have to explain to him every little thing that's kind of insider, like, it can. It can get frustrating for everyone.
Right,
so.
Right.
Yeah.
And also, it's a little bit different, but you can openly talk about wrestling a lot more than you used to.
Yeah.
And
my wife's an author too. My wife is the one that's been really encouraging me to get this done.
Of course.
Because like all the stories I tell her, Fumi, like something will pop into my head and I'll tell her and she go, keep telling me you got to, get your book done.
Yeah. And then
she's also a great author, man.
It's inspiring for some people,
Yeah.
It could be embarrassing to you on your part, but that can inspire some people.
Fumi, let's be real, man. Come on, like. It's pretty hard to embarrass me at this point. I've already pretty much been open about everything.
A lot of things. Yeah.
So I'm good with it. I'm not proud of a lot of the stuff, but like
it's okay.
It's important. It's part of my story, even the bad stuff,
Oh yeah.
And it's why I'm proud of the person I am today. I'm a better person, Fumi. Like I wasn't a bad person all those years ago, but I'm a way better person now.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's all right. Yeah. No, you've always been a really good person.
I had a few years there where I think I kind of might have been, less than great.
I think we all
I think my heart was always good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But I don't like the person I was for a while, Fumi.
Right. It's okay, but that was then, this is now, and you're ready to tell the story to the world, and you gotta share this. You gotta share this with the world.
I'm looking forward to it.
Oh yeah. It's like I wish we had more time and the COVID shit. And all this, but I'm gonna come and visit you.
Are you coming, Fumi? Please.
Yeah,
we got plenty of room, man. Plenty of room.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna come and visit.
Yeah. I miss you very much. We have as much time as you want, by the way. Like I'm always happy to.
Chat.
Be able to talk to you, man. It feels like hanging out with my friend.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that was great.
Someday, I in your book or from you. I want to hear more about your time in Mexico because I know you spent time there, but
oh
I
yeah,
don't know
we'll
much.
get into it.
Yeah,
we'll get into it.
It's all good. There's a lot of stuff that we talked about a lot of stuff today, but get the book, everyone.
There were some tough times, like real dark stuff happened in Mexico, but I also like absolutely loved it there too, man. It was a magical place to be. It's in the like I loved the guys, like I loved all the people that I worked with down there. Man, I had some issues with the boss, but like overall, I loved it, man. I had a great time down there. Yeah, I miss those guys down there.
Yeah.
All right.
And that for the Universal, being in Universal with all those guys made it so much easier for me when I went down there.
Really?
Because I knew like half those guys I wrestled their fathers.
Ah, okay.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, like Saito, Clown, all those guys. I wrestled so many of those guys.
Their dads.
Yeah.
Ah, interesting.
That's how it is. Yeah. Yeah, I've seen that more and more.
So many wrestling families down there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very interesting. All right.
Well, if we can wrap up for today, Sean. Is there anything you want to plug or let people know about that you're doing or working on lately these days?
No, man. I'm just enjoying being a grandfather and being like married to an amazing lady. And yeah, man, life is great.
Good. Life is good.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it's so great.
Oh, so good to know that. Yeah.
And people can watch you on Raw this week, right? It was the 30th.
Last week.
Or last week, excuse me.
Yeah.
I'm all bobbled up. Yeah,
last
week's
No,
Raw.
no, I watched it the day after, on YouTube without cutting commercials and stuff. Yeah.
Mm.
That's enough for a while, right? Like we've been on for like twice in the past 3 months or something. So
yeah, that's good.
Yeah, we can hold off on DX click reunions for a while.
Yeah.
Sean, are you going to be around WrestleMania weekend, like Los Angeles?
I live here, man. Yeah. I got some things I'm doing here.
You are not retired. You once you're a wrestler, you always will be professional wrestler. Yeah,
I haven't ruled out doing it again, but last year, man, I ended up having to get surgery to fix my bicep, so I want to make sure it's really special occasion if I do it again.
Yeah,
and I want to make sure I take the time to prepare and be in shape. Like people wanted me like be in the Royal Rumble, like hey, no way. Like I've been sitting around eating a lot of food and just enjoying my life, and like don't really want to don't look that great without I don't look bad, but dude, when you're going to come back like that, you need to dial it in, look good.
Edge is setting the standard a little
like
too.
Edge, yeah. Or I looked pretty good last year when I came back. But yeah,
but then
I'm not retired from me, but I come on the show. I'm like not in a hurry to do it again. I'm not saying I ever will, but like, I haven't ruled anything out.
Right.
Cool.
Life is good.
Well, all right. Let's wrap then. So, if people want to contact you, Sean and Fumi-san, where can we find you on the internet? Where's the best way?
You can't.
Oh, I heard you were doing a detox, social media detox.
No, I just don't like. I don't know, man. Like
No, I hear that, man.
I just like to chill at home and spend time with my dog.
Okay.
And like I'm not in a hurry for anybody to get a hold of me.
Okay, so Ixnay, don't get a hold of Sean Waltman. He's got stuff going on.
Friend.
Unless you're his friend.
My friend, and if you're my friend, you already know how to get a hold of me.
Yeah, so just wait for the book. Fumi, where can we reach you on the internet?
On Twitter, Fumihiko Dayo, Fumihiko Dayo, Fumihiko Dayo on Twitter, or just Fumi Saito on Facebook. Please message me first.
And
actually, I'll give you my Twitter at the real X-Pac.
At the real
X-Pac on Instagram. It's just, I'm not good at returning messages.
But if you want to see what he's up to, you can check that out.
Yeah, please. Yeah, it's not that I don't care. I love everybody. I don't have the bandwidth anymore.
No, I hear that. On Twitter, I'm at Justin M. Knipper, Knipper. That's it. So until next time, Fumi, want to take it away?
Thanks, Sean. It was great. It was really great. You came on, and well, other than that, let's chat on not a podcast, but I'll call you. Okay.
Okay. I love you, Fumi.
All right. So long from Tokyo.
Thanks,
Bye.
Sean.
Write that down. Write that. Write that. Write that. Write that. Write that down. Write that down. Write that down.